Hello, everyone. I'm David Atkins, target individual, and I'm here with Billy, and he's here to talk about his targeting. He's been targeted since a kid. He thinks he's been targeted since he's a kid. So Billy, could you tell me what life was like before you were target? Well, before targeting, what it's like now? Like,
Before I knew about it.
yeah, before you knew about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was happening. Well, I know for sure it's been at least 25 years.
Like me, I was the life of the party and stuff. Now I'm a recluse. It's turned me into a recluse, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just did, the normal shit that we do, right? I had 5 kids. Was a contractor for 25 years. I golfed every day. I just did normal shit, man. It was just normal shit. Nothing crazy, nothing, just normal ass American shit, right? And then once they polished off my grandparents and my parents, that's when they sunk their teeth into me and really exposed who they were and what they did.
Right.
So,
They waited till you were isolated.
yeah, well, that was the thing. So I've always been a pretty good guy. You know what I mean? I've helped a lot of people. I've done a lot of good stuff for the community, for neighbors, just family in general. And so I had a lot of support when this started. And I thought there was no way in hell they were going to isolate me. But boy, they did. They took my business. They took my friends, my family. They had me. Now, granted, I was acting a little cuckoo because they were doing some cuckoo shit to me.
Right.
You know,
It'll
when you,
make you do that.
bro, I'm in the closet with freaking tinfoil on my head, laying down, talking about their shooting at me. And I remember looking up and seeing my kids all shaking their head, like, what the hell's going on with this dude? When you can't see the weapon or hear it, you just assume the dude's crazy. Well,
Right.
some years prior to that, my nephew, he got the V2K, and we all thought he was going cuckoo.
All right.
Okay, so he was walking up and down the driveway. I'm talking about burning souls off of the shoes because he was walking so much he couldn't sleep for a fucking year, bro. He didn't sleep, and so
Wow.
we thought he was going cuckoo. This was before they polished off my parents, and it wasn't until when my mother passed away, she had wrote a letter because she was sort of documenting all the shit that was happening in our family.
Yeah.
And one of the things I read, she said, I went to my father's house, which is my grandfather. Said I sat him on his bed and I looked him dead in the eye and I said, "What do you want to do, Dad?" They were selling all his properties off. That's what they did. They came in and took all. He had 22 properties here on the west side. They
Yeah.
took them all. They took them all the bank accounts, all the businesses, gone, everything. So she sat him on the bed before it was all gone, and she said, "What do you want to do, Dad?" And she wrote in this letter, she said he grabbed both of his ears and started shaking his head back and forth and said, "I just want them to stop talking into my head."
Wow.
Yep. And so I showed that to my youngest daughter, and she looked, with big eyes, and she's like, "Dad." And I said, "Yeah, it's the same thing that happened to Gary." So again, they've been in our family for a long time, and I believe it's from when I was a kid. I had to go way back to think like, what did I do that was important? Who the hell am I? That's the most famous thing everybody would ask me. Why are you so special? Motherfucker, I don't know, but they're out there. You know what I mean? I
Right.
don't fucking know. But I'll tell you this story, David, and this is what I think is going on is, and these people, when we have a baby, first thing they do is take its blood. And I don't know if there's any blood, everybody talking about RH negative, this, that. I don't fucking know if that's the reason, but I can tell you this. When I was in the second grade, fucking the teacher, she played this game called Hide the Bone. So she had this little dog bone. There's 30 kids in the class, and she would have one kid go up, look at the chalkboard while the other kids hid the bone, and then you'd have to turn around and pick who had the bone. Hence the word hide the bone. So we played for weeks. Nobody ever picked the bone. And then she called me up there. Bro, I picked 7 people in a row. I didn't miss one person. And I've been
Wow.
like this my whole life. I can feel what people are thinking or what they're feeling. I don't know what it is. Some people call it empath, and it was very beneficial to me when I was in business. So when I would go to sign a contract with somebody, I could tell from their energy what was making them uncomfortable. And then I could shift my energy into a more positive role for them so that I could get the contract.
Right.
So it's kind of like cheating, but they were still getting a good job. So I wasn't, wasn't
Kind of
bullshit.
ESP stuff going on.
I can't explain it. I don't know one empath that can, but if I get close to you, whatever you're feeling, I can feel it. Whatever you're thinking, I can feel what you're thinking. It's weird.
Right.
And so that is the far back as I could think, that was the one thing that to me was kind of unique. It was like, wow, not one kid in the class could pick one person. And here's Billy. Matter of fact, the teacher told me, Billy, you got to go sit back down. I said, bitch, I fucking picked the seventh person. I get to keep going. She said, you got to give somebody else a try. And, so and I did. But who knows how long I could have kept that up.
Right.
So I think that there are some of us that are close to God and have, I don't know if you want to call them abilities or an inner light, whatever people want to call it, chosen one, the freaking star seeds. I mean, there's just so many
Yeah.
names for people.
I
But
call it the ESP.
ESP.
Yeah. I forgot what it stands for, but I know ESP is the. Let's see what it stands for here. That's what other people call it too, because they went after people with your abilities too. They went after a lot of people with the ESP abilities.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, bro. And so
Extrasensory perception, also known as a sixth sense.
yeah, and I think that's probably our first sense. They tell us it's our sixth, but when we were coming about, we had to run from lions and tigers and all kinds of shit. So I think that sense of danger was probably one of our first senses. So regardless, dude, I don't know how long it's been going on forever, for sure, but they did expose themselves in 2018. It's my first honey trap, and I went and did a leadership training. And here comes this chick, fucking, I'm God to her, right? I'm the one, and she makes you feel that way,
Right.
and then manipulates you and to put you into a situation. And that's what she did. She manipulated my whole family. She manipulated me. She was drugging me. I didn't know.
Right.
And a lot of trauma around that. And so I finally broke away from that. And then a few months after that, the second honey trap came in. And now, mind you, at this time, I still didn't know about gang stalking.
Right.
I knew there was some crazy shit going on in my family and my life, but I didn't know there was fucking piece of shits out there like this. You know what I mean? Like, these people are the shittiest people you could think of on this earth. And so I just didn't know people were like that. I didn't know. I knew of like hidden cults. I knew of secret society. I knew of stuff like that, but I never met no one. I was never in one. I wasn't close to it. But when I got to the second honey trap, she actually started telling me that she was a target, and she would start telling me things that happened to targets. And no sooner than she said it, it would start happening to me. So it was like they had to slowly bring me into the fact that I was being targeted because I didn't know nothing about it. Matter of fact, when she
Right.
said it, I said, if these guys want to watch me fucking take a shit and jerk off, yeah, they let them. I mean, I had no idea of the depth of what I was dealing with. I had no idea. I thought it was maybe, 20, 30 clowns that were working together, fucking with people. But no, it's much more than that. So, yeah, that's kind of how it went down, bro. And then once I found out about the targeting, and then there was really no way out of it, you sort of got your back to the wall, you know?
Yeah. Well,
And so
I know one of my abilities I've always had. If I'm in danger, like 2 or 3 minutes before something's going to happen, I see the way out of it and see what's going to happen, and I feel it in my stomach. It's just weird. I've always had that ability, and it's happened. It's worked for me a bunch of times. So I call that God, a supernatural God thing, telling me. That feeling you get in your stomach to confirm it. It's like I'll see a vision of what's going to happen and the escape route I need to take before it happens, and I'll get that feeling in my stomach to clarify it.
yeah.
So if my stomach tells me to go on the street naked, I'm gonna listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's what I need to listen to.
Well, yeah, it's our intuition, and that was what I was talking about. How some of us are, I don't know if we're closer to God. I don't want to say that because I believe we're all
Right.
close to God. However, a lot of us have been walking around with these blinders on for so long, we don't know up from down anymore. So when you get someone like myself who's been eyes wide open his whole life, listening to all these lies and bullshit that's been coming down the pipe forever, I it's very hard to run one by me. It's just very hard.
Right.
I mean, unless you tell me you love me and all that good stuff, and I believe you, then you get all the passwords, you get the credit cards, you get everything. Yeah. So that shit kind of stopped.
Do you
That shit
expect,
kind of stopped.
could you explain your direct energy attacks or
Yeah.
what
So
you
that's
experience and stuff?
that's what happened at the second honey trap. So the first one poisoned me and was drugging me, and then the second one, what happened was I was at her house and my knees were burning, and I didn't know why. I thought maybe I was just getting old. I didn't know. Anyway, so I went outside. I'm smoking a cigarette, and I had turned around real quick to go back into the house, and the fucking mailbox next to me goes ping. I mean, rattling, bro. And I'm thinking, I'm standing there going, I'm looking around. Of course, you don't see nobody, and I'm like, what the fuck could make that mailbox ping like that? What the fuck am I? What the? So I immediately went back in the house and I, typed it into Google this, and it came up with energy weapons. And then once I found out about energy weapons and the targeting program, I realized what these people were doing. They call them people cookers. And so that's really what they're doing is they're cruising around cooking people all day. They're cooking you in your house or cooking you in your car or cooking you at work. And they're heating us up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so once I found out about it, and who was doing it, because it didn't make sense to me that a grandma would be doing it and then a little kid and then some regular guy and then another grandma. It was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? I couldn't understand how they were getting these types of people, different races, different religions, different ages, everywhere. And all these people were involved. And I couldn't get it. I could not understand it. And then I started learning about RISS and InfraGard and fusion centers and neighborhood watch bullshit. And I realized they're all just working together, giving information. And when you're driving around in the city, they're all getting alerts. Hey, ding dong's coming your way. Make sure you stick your hand on your thing so you got a bent elbow. Put the red car in front of them. They do all these weird things. And so, anyway, yeah, I figured that out. I was like, damn, these are just normal ass, everyday mom and pop people who join this secret society, probably get paid for. I don't know what they get,
Dude, I
but
jumped a train. That used to blow my mind too, how they could be everywhere and know where you're going.
everywhere.
Look, I jumped a train. I took the battery out of my cell phone in 2018. They still had batteries in cell phones. I take my battery out of a cell phone. I jump a train at 8 o'clock at night, fall asleep on it. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I wake up in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I get off the train, and they're right there stalking me already. And I know this wasn't in my head. Like, these are real stalkers. And it always used to confuse me how they coordinate like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's another thing I told my second honey trap. I said, this feels very military. She's like, what are you talking about? Played it off. But the way I would watch these guys move and how they would harass me and stalk me, felt very military. Even though the people didn't look very military,
Right.
their actions did. And so I realized that these people were actually just being trained by trained professionals. The CIA, the FBI, the military, whoever's training these people, they're not 100%. They still make mistakes, but they're pretty damn good
Yeah.
at the harassment. And so I think it came to a point for me where I was like, I felt like I was just backed into a corner. Like these people are not going to let up no matter what I do, how I behave, where I go, what state I go to. It doesn't matter. They just want to cook me. So then it just turned from, you know, like shock into anger. And so I literally went out and started buying paint remover and BB guns and all kinds of other fun things that are legal, slingshots. And I would just go out at night and I would hunt them.
Uh, well, how'd that work out?
I felt better.
Right. I'm just saying, did it make your targeting go less?
No, bro, I can't really tell. I don't shield. And I've been, I've called my kids 3 times, bro, 3 times to tell them goodbye because I thought I was going to die.
Oh
That's
yeah.
how much torture they were doing to me. I didn't know about the weapons. I didn't know. I didn't know. And so when you've been tortured for 48 hours constant, and at the time I was in a storage unit where I had my whole house was in the storage unit. Nobody believed me. Nobody would fucking help me. And here I am in this storage unit, with people above me, below me, to the side of me, just torturing the shit out of me. So I called my kids and I told them, hey, man, I might not make it out of here. And I ended up doing that 3 times because that's how it felt. I felt like I was going to fricking die.
Yeah.
And I'm a tough motherfucker, bro. It takes a
Oh,
lot
you were
to
staying
hurt
in
me.
the storage unit?
No, hell no. I was just trying to get out of, I'm in LA, so you
Yeah.
can't swing a dead cat around without hitting one of these fucking weenies. So they're everywhere. So I was just like, man, I just want to go in my storage unit, smoke a doobie, chill. And nope, they were torturing me in there. So
Wow.
it don't
Did you
matter
feel
where
the
you go.
earthquake the other day?
Yeah,
Okay. They're
yeah.
saying they're going to be a mega quake soon.
Yeah, they've been saying that since I was a kid. So
Yeah.
whatever. If it happens, it
Well,
happens.
there's some kind of doomsday fish that's only came up so many times, and they're seeing them on coast of California right now. They stay
The
real deep.
dragon,
I forgot. I seen something about it last night.
the dragon.
I don't know it, but they stay deep, and now they've been seeing them dead floating. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird shit going on, bro. But I think that has to do more with the eclipse we had, and
Yeah.
that the polar shifts are shifting, and there's just stuff
Oh,
that
okay.
always, yeah, there's the stuff that always happens on this earth. We're only here for 100 years or whatever. But I think that the Mayans and a lot of other older cultures, the Egyptians, they knew about, every 25,000 years that the earth would sort of cleanse itself, I guess you'd say. And I think that's what we're going through. I don't know what's going to happen, honestly. I could just tell you some crazy ass shit.
All right. Do you
Yeah.
experience? Do you ever experience V2K?
No, nope. Never, not
Okay.
once
Yeah.
did they fucking whisper in my ear. You know what they do though? So it's V2K, but in my voice.
Yeah.
So they'll put a thought in
Yeah.
my
They
head.
plant subconscious thoughts in your head with your own voice. Yeah.
Right. And
Remote
so
neural
I think I'm
monitoring.
thinking it, but I'm not thinking it. Okay.
Right.
Because there's been a few times, bro, where I'm just like, where did that come from? And that's how I knew I was getting it, but not the way others are usually getting it. You know, my
So
my nephew, he got other people's voices.
could you explain like what you was feeling and what you were going through when you became isolated? Like me, like it messed my world up because all these people that were used to be cool with me all of a sudden ain't cool with me no more. And I'm like, wow, really? Really? You know what I'm saying? Like, what in the world have
Yeah.
I done?
That
I
was
lost.
shocking to me that people that I had taken care of for decades, I'm talking taking care of these people, just turned their back on me for whatever reason. I don't know why or how. I couldn't understand the how. That's what was shocking to me because
That's
I
me.
could never do that to somebody. If somebody's been the way I've been with people, I would never turn my back on that person. However, who knows if they're being blackmailed, they're being threatened, they're just fucking mean people and they want to go along with it. I don't know. But yeah, everybody turned and I had nowhere to go, dude. I was homeless walking these
Yeah.
streets in LA.
Well,
And
I
it
know
was
they're getting told something because listen, when I went to the rebuild center in New Orleans in 2018, I was homeless and they were giving out free shoes and I'd done walked a hole in my shoes. So I said, "Hey dude, can I get some I got in line to get some free shoes." He's like, "You need to," he whispered to me, he said, "Come here." And he said, "Look, I'm not supposed to give you nothing." He said, "But if you come back at this certain time when nobody's here, I'll give you a free pair of New Balances." So I came back at that time and he's like, "Look, man, don't tell nobody you got these from me. I'm not supposed to help you at all." I said, "Well, he said, "I can't tell, I can't explain it to you, but I'm not supposed to help you at all. Here, have a good day." And he turned it back and walked off. Brand new pair of New Balances though. But I will always wonder what he was told or why he wouldn't help me, you know?
okay. So I'm a general contractor and I had a engineer call me. She was the baddest engineer I'd ever met, actually. And she asked if I would do her house. And so I gave her a price of 440,000 it was, and she said, "Oh, Billy, I can't do it. I only have 330,000 cash." And I was like, "You got cash?" She's like, "Yeah, I don't put my money in the bank." So I was like, "Let me rework these numbers for cash." So we worked out a deal, and I did her home. I did it in 9 months, tore it apart, put it back together in 9 months for 330,000. That included all her furniture. So she just loved the shit out of me. Okay. And I'm talking her and her family, they just loved me because I gave them that beautiful home at the price they could afford. But the thing was she was supposed to tell everybody else how great I was so I can get more work from her, which she did.
Right.
But anyway, so some months into this, I called her because I was grasping for straws. I didn't know who to call. And I called her on the phone and I said, "Hey, can I meet with you?" And she goes, "Well, what do you need?" And I said, "I'd like to sit down and talk to you face to face." And she said, "Billy, I can't do this." And I said, "You can't do this?" She said, "No, I can't do this." So I don't know what they told her. And I
Right.
know she was doing the best she could to say whatever she could for me, but she was basically saying, "Billy, I can't do this." So I don't know what this was. I still haven't talked to her since then. I'm assuming the FBI went over there and told her, if you want to keep your house and your business, you might want to tell that dude to kick rocks. And so they
Yep.
were running around telling everybody I'm a pedophile too.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know, but I got burnt. Can you see that burn?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they tried to cook me, like literally cook me. Look at this shit.
Oh yeah, you were the one in the hospital, wasn't you, with the burns? Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
you see all
that.
that? That's all grass. And then they
Yeah.
fucking came up my leg, dude. Like I had to jump through the fire. I had to jump the fuck out of that shit. So, once they did that, I was just like, you know what? Fuck these dudes. I got nothing. You're done. You're fucking done. Okay? You're done. If I see you attacking me, you're done. And so, I don't know. I just shifted my energy. And then at some point, I said, this ain't working either. You know what I mean? Like these guys, they love when I'm mad. They love that shit. And
Yep.
I don't want to give that to them. You know what I'm saying? I do not want to give that to them. So that's when I shifted my energy and I said, I'm going to go help others. I'm going to get out of my own head and I'm going to go help others. But anyway, you finish up with your questioning because we're kind of zipping around. I know you had
Okay.
some
Yeah.
questions.
Well, and see, people, that's what helps me, helping other target individuals, knowing that I'm making a difference with a
Yeah.
positive word or trying to talk somebody out of suicide or something. That helps me. So I know you traveling around helping other people. I know how that helps. It's kind of like the 12 step thing.
That's where I
If
learned
you
it.
help others, you know what I'm saying? So it
Bro, I
keeps me
had
sane knowing that I'm helping somebody, even though the world thinks I'm a piece of crap. I know I'm helping somebody. I'm making a difference. So forget what the world thinks, and it's my gratification. You know what I'm saying? Keeps
That's
me
where I learned
going.
it, bro. When I was 22, I went to AA because my whole family was drunks and drug addicts. Anyway, so I went to AA and I got 14 years. But during the process of that, I would go to my sponsor and I would say, "Hey, this is going on. The fuck, this is fucked up. That's fucked up." And the only thing he would say to me is, "How many new people are you working with?" Every time. I'm like, "Dude, did you just fucking hear what I said? I got all these problems in the world and I need help." He's like, "Go to a meeting, grab a newcomer, start working some steps with them." And then he'd call me a few days later and he'd go, "Okay, what was that problem again?" Fuck, I don't remember. So I remembered that when I was on the couch and I was just being tortured every freaking day, all day by the same piece of shits. I knew who
Yeah.
they were, but I couldn't say nothing because if I say something, I look crazy. And so I literally had to just sit there and take it. And that's when I said, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm gonna start calling. I called you. I called many other people, and I said I will come to your house and work for free just to help you because I know what you're going through. And so it took about almost a year for me to actually get to the first TI's house. But after that, it was like they were lined up in a row, ding, 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 and I was able to do a lot, which was cool. And I got to meet some people, and I ain't never traveled, so yeah. So it was cool, man. I was I think I'm done now though. I
Right.
think I'm fucking done, bro. That's exhausting. And you go to now you have to deal with their traumas and work around their issues in their home and their target. You know what I mean? It's a lot for an empath to take on that kind of energy from a different
Yeah.
person every freaking month. You know, what I mean? So I
So
said, you know,
one question I got. Did you ever find out what chemical she was using on you when she was poisoning you?
no, bro. So here's what happened. I was taking a nap when she got home, and when she got home, I woke up and I went and I opened a beer and I drank it. I rolled a doobie, took a couple hits, and then I went and grabbed another beer. I took a sip off of that, and then I went to the bathroom. And when I came back, took another swig of the beer, and then all of a sudden I just started feeling nauseous, bro. Like fucking, I didn't feel good. And so I walked into the kitchen and I grabbed a glass of water. I came back. She even said, "Oh, you don't look good." I said, "I don't feel good." And I went outside, dude, and I sat on this couch, and literally my body was just shaking. I mean, everything, my whole body, just like this, for about 15 minutes straight, sweat profusely pouring off of me. And when it was over, I said to her, I said, "Can you go online and find out what the hell that was and put in those symptoms or whatever?" You know what she told me? "You need to see a psychiatrist." She told me it was
Oh.
anxiety. She told me it was anxiety and depression. And so I believed her again because I didn't know about the targeting program. I didn't know she
Right.
was a honey trap. I didn't know. I just assumed this woman actually cared for me. So I went and I saw a therapist, and as soon as he saw me, he's like, "Dude, you need to see a psychiatrist." I'm like, "I thought I was seeing one right now." He said, "No, I'm a therapist." He goes, "I'm a head doctor." He goes, "Those guys are the pill doctor." I go, "Oh, you guys are trying to get me lubed up on pills,"
Right.
which is what they try to do. So I did take a serotonin uptake inhibitor for about 2 months, and then that was it. As soon as I started sleeping again, because that's what they were trying to tell me is that I just wasn't sleeping enough, and you know, I didn't bring up none of the targeting shit because I didn't even know about it.
So
So yeah,
was your gang stalking heavy? Do you experience heavy gang stalking still?
no, no, they're here, they're watching me, they're all right here. Trust me,
But you used to, right?
dude. I'm talking. These guys were so blatant. They would pull right up next to me, and they would fucking hit something in their car, and then I would hear something turn on in my car, and they'd just be smiling at me. They'd come right up and just shoot lasers right at me. Dude, they were so blatant about it. You know, I think that was one of the things that really pissed me off. I was like, "You fucking little bitches. Don't you know who I think I am?" So I started attacking them, dude. I mean, I'm not proud of it, but I've beat up a lot of them and I've damaged a lot of their property, just like they did me. I was just
Right.
mirroring them. That's all I was doing. I was just mirroring them. I would do something to them and then I'd run over there and go, "Oh, you okay? What happened?" You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'd fucking piss them off like that because that's what they would do to me. They would fuck me up, and then you'd have some little old lady come, "Oh, you okay?" And you knew she was part of the shit.
How did you find out about the targeting program and what a target individual was?
It was my second honey trap. She told me she was a target,
Oh,
and
okay.
these are the things they used to do
That's
to
right.
her.
Yeah.
So the first thing she told me was, "You go into a grocery store, and then all the registers will close, and there'll just be one open. And when you get in line, there'll be 20 people behind you. Everybody going, 'Oh, come on, man! What are you taking so long for it?'" One of those things, right? And sure enough, I fucking went to go buy 3 cell phones because those little throwaways. I was buying 3 of them. Well, the third one wouldn't ring up. He just kept acting like it wouldn't ring up. And now there's a line, right? And they started in with their, "Come on, man, shut the fuck up." I was like, "It ain't my fault. I got the money. This dick can't seem to ring it up." So I kind of nipped that in the bud, but I got to see what she was talking about firsthand. And again, she would say, "Well, have you ever had your knees buckle where you can't walk?" I'm like, "No, why the fuck would that happen?" Sure enough, I walk into a grocery store, dude, and these people are doing the weirdest shit. They got their carts and they're like going, zoop, 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 right? They would walk by me and just do a quick little zoop, zoop with their cart. But it
Yeah.
was literally, bro, they were magnetized. They were pulling on my muscles. I thought my knees were going to blow out. Dude, I don't
Wow.
know how they did it. And even the last dude that came near me, I said, "Dude, though," I said, "that is an incredible fucking weapon." He goes, "I know." And so, yeah, however they did that one, it was weird because they had just normal ass people, it looked like, in there with their carts, and they'd come real close to me, and then they just go, zip, zip, you know what I mean? They just real
Yeah.
quick push it forward and back. And I know that had nothing to do with what was happening in my body, but they were doing it to freak me out. They did freak me out, dude. I walked up to this old man. I said, dude, I'm gonna knock your fucking teeth out. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? When you don't know what's happening, it's very scary. I don't know if I was scared, but I was definitely mad.
Yeah. Uh, so how is it how do you cope with this? If you was to talk to other targets and if some other targets listening, what would you tell them to do to cope?
Stand your ground. That's number one. Like these people don't want to get caught. Okay. They know what they're doing is wrong. And so, my biggest weapon is my camera. I could beat up 50 of them. There'll be another 100 right behind them. Like, it's just, you're not going to beat them all up. It's a waste of time. If anything, I got scars and scratches where I don't need them because of what I'm doing. But yeah, your best bet, pull out a camera and talk to them. Tell them, I'm sorry that you have to do this for a living, that you actually have to torture your fellow man just to pay your bills, or so somebody doesn't target your family. I'm sorry this has to happen to you. Get into their heart. Put them on camera. Do shit different than you're supposed to do. Don't react like, oh my God, they're everywhere. Yeah, they're fucking everywhere all the time. Well, that's camera. You're going live, bitch. And so when I started pulling out my camera and I quit being so angry, my second honey trap used to tell me a lot of truth. And what she used to tell me is the things that are going to happen in your life, it's your job to figure out if it's real or not, which is not fun. But so when things are starting to happen and I'm getting uncomfortable, I have to take a step back and go, okay, let me look at this from a different perspective, because I'm in the shit and they're all doing it to me. But if I pull back and just go, okay, this person's doing that and they're doing that, and they're obviously being told to do this because they're not smart enough to do this on their own. So, I know that they're being coached to do everything they're doing. All of this stuff is, oh, so bro, I'm going to send you some stuff I found yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I did was, how our phones get clogged up with storage and they don't let us fucking take pictures or nothing because it's so clogged, we can't do updates, all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? So yesterday, I fucking emptied a ton of pictures. I got rid of them. And one of the things I did was I went into the analytics, or it was actually the history of Safari. And I started looking at all these different websites that I had never been to. And I started looking into them and what these websites do. And so I'm going to send you the information and sort of just walk you through what I had found. But basically, uh, they will use your phone with a platform that is AI integrated to whatever you want to do in your business. AI will direct it that way. And so if their business is to torture people, AI doesn't know if it's right or wrong. It just does it. So that's why we all believe that AI is involved. It is. And the stuff I'm going to send you will show you that these websites that my phone is going to, and I'm not going to them. I don't know if you've ever seen GS Tactic. Just go look in your history. I guarantee there's GS Tactic in there. And actually, I got a few of them. I'll send them to you later. I'm not
All
going to
right.
do it right. Yeah, I'll send them to you later. But basically, what I did was I took all those websites. I went to the website. A lot of them they wouldn't even let me go to, but there were a few that I could get to. And then I was reading about what the company does. Why would I be here? And when you can correlate what the targeting is doing with these websites, you'll see that that's what they're doing. They're using these companies. It's not just one person or two people. It's the whole community working together to, I don't know what they tell these people, dude. It still baffles me, like how people could do that. But again, if it's like a single mom and they say, look, we're going to fucking kill your baby if you don't do it. Well, yeah, she's probably going to do it.
Right.
Yeah. And it sucks to think like that, but that's probably what's happening. A lot of it. And a lot of people are in it for the drugs, the sex, the camaraderie. They're fucking lonely. They sit at their computer and do nothing for their whole life. And now all of a sudden you got a group of people that are having fun. And, you know, when they tell you that it's a bad person, it makes it a little easier on you when you're out there doing this stupid shit to people because you actually believe this person's a bad person.
Right.
And so what I would suggest to TIs is what my second honey trap suggests to me was don't do anything. Don't give them no energy. Don't look at them. Don't, don't just go about your business. And that's what I do. Like they're hitting me right now with lasers. You guys might not be able to see them, but I got tons of videos of me being hit with lasers. They do it all the time. I just don't acknowledge it. I keep fine, shoot me. I'm still going to go to the beach. I'm still going to get some breakfast. I'm still going to go see my friend. I'm still going to do what the fuck I want to do. I'm not going to sit around looking, oh, is he in the car? Is it the mailman? Is it this guy? Fuck, I did that for years. Years I had the camera shooting out all over there. And finally I turned the camera on me and I started picking everything up. I started picking up all these different energy weapons hitting me. And so I can't believe it took me that long to get it. But yeah, you're not going to see anything out there. But you will see something if you start aiming it at your head. If you, that was another thing I said to the second honey trap. I said, I think they're fucking shooting lasers at me 24/7. And she looked right at me and she goes, I guarantee they're shooting at you 24/7. And I was like, whoa. So, and that was a weird thing, you know, finding out that she was a gang stalker and my first girl was a gang stalker and they actually knew each other and they were playing off of me. They were trying to get me to kill myself. That's what they
Yep.
were trying to do because what they would do is they'd call me and they say, okay, babe, I'll talk to you later. And they'd set the phone down and start having sex with another dude so that it would hurt me. Right? I shut up, bitch. I share. You do whatever the hell you want, lady. It ain't gonna hurt me. So
Right.
that was kind of a rude awakening for them. But yeah, they were trying to get me to fucking get so depressed I would kill myself. But again, once I found out what they really wanted, then I just shifted all my energy into doing different shit. You know,
Right.
people are like living in Faraday cages. They're doing all kinds of cages. Dude, I won't do none of that. Fuck you and your mother for raising a bitch. I ain't fucking doing none of that. I'm gonna fucking just live my life as shitty as it's been. But you know what, David? My family believes me now. For 6 years, my fucking brother would tell me, what makes you so special? Why would they do this to you? Like, I should just fucking drive back to the house now so you guys could hear him. Fucking, that's what I should have done, bro. I went to the beach. But anyway, he came to me last November. He put his arm around me and he said, Billy, I see them everywhere now. He goes, they're fucking everywhere. And I said, I told you, bro. They're like cockroaches. It don't matter where you go, what they're there. You
Yep.
might not see them, but they're there.
So he
And
believes you
so
now. That's awesome.
he believes me. And so both my sons believe me because I took them to Big Bear for a camping trip. And I said, you guys, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen before it happens so that you can see that I'm not crazy.
Right.
I know, whatever, Dad. I said, when we go out there, you're going to see a lot of one headlight people following us. You're going to see a lot of people brighting me with their lights. I said, when we go into a store, there's not going to be anybody in the store. And within 5 minutes, there'll be 10 or 15 people in the store. And so just those three things I told them, all three of them happened umpteenth amounts of times just in that little camping trip. So on the way back to LA, I said, so do you guys believe me now? They both said, yeah, Dad, we see it. This is crazy. I go, yeah, it is crazy, but it's true. And I said, so the more that you guys got your dads back, that will give the other people in the family courage to step up and say, you know what, maybe Dad's not crazy. Maybe people are fucking actually following him and doing this weird shit.
Right.
So my goal was like, dude, I don't want to die with everybody thinking I'm nuts. You know,
Yeah.
that was my, I don't know why that mattered to me, but it ain't the money, it ain't the fame. It's just I don't want my kids to think their dad was cuckoo because I was fucking going cuckoo, bro. But I don't know. I pulled it back in. I said, nope, not on my watch, bitches.
Right.
We're gonna, we're gonna do
I
something
got
different.
one more question for you, and that's do you ever think this will end?
Yeah.
You do. And how do you
Yep.
think this is going to end?
Well, again, I've been awake for my whole life, and I have never seen this many people awaken at one time as I'm seeing now. David, 2, 3 months ago, I was in tears. I couldn't believe it. The fucking world is waking up. I'm getting the chills right now. My hairs are standing straight up, dude. I've never seen this in my lifetime. Never, not never, in the never of neverness have I seen this many people, you know, talking about all the corruption and, all the conspiracies that we don't get to talk about. There's little old ladies talking about it now, you know? And so I believe in the good in people. I just, my second honey trap told me, do you think there's more good people or bad people on this earth? I said, I think there's more good people. I said,
Right.
we're innately good people from birth. I said, we're taught all this stupid shit. We choose imperfection. And so she said, no, there's more bad people. And then, of course, the targeting got real heavy. So they wanted me to think that there was more bad people. But I did a lot of fucking research, David, and I'm telling you, there's more good people than bad people. It's just the bad people have all the money, the resources, and the psychology fucking games they play. They're in a position to make it look like my brother. He said, dude, everybody's involved. And I said, no, Brandon, that's not right. They're only putting that many people in front of you to make it appear as if everybody's involved, because everywhere you go, there they are. But in California out here, we have 500 to 1,000 cars readily available to stalk and harass on a whim. Okay. So these guys are constantly all night long too. They're just driving around, doing their thing. And so I believe that there's enough people like yourself and myself that know the truth. And if we hold the line, we give courage to the next person to say, yeah, you know what? Fuck them old people running around hurting people with all our money. You know what I mean? Take out my tax dollar and then torture me with it. The fuck?
Right.
But that's what's going down. Crazy. And so when we had those, I think it was 4 or 6 whistleblowers from the FBI come out last year, dude, I was laughing. I was like, let it begin, baby. Let it begin. Let all these good people that are in these shitty institutions start speaking up. That's what we need.
Yep.
And so I'm not religious, but I put some stuff into the universe that said, hey, let them do it to themselves from the inside. Let's let them start thinking that they're all turning on each other, and let that whole craziness happen inside of their fucking facility.
Yeah, I've
So
always said that it's going to somebody's going to come forward that knows a lot, that's been involved in this program, and is going to expose it all
mm-hmm.
one
And
day.
that's
Now, what do you think about
well,
Robert Duncan? He's not been, they say he's dead, but it's not been confirmed.
yeah. So is fucking Epstein. So
Do
yeah,
you think
I,
that maybe? Do you think that maybe he got too? Do you think it was maybe he was either it was an experiment for him to mingle with target individuals and give information and it was all big one experiment. And now he backed out. And now he's gone. Do you think um maybe he was just bombarded and told not to go to that last meeting, the whistleblower meeting in Colorado? Because July 8th, Lynn Bear put, well, Robert Duncan's going to be joining us, and that's the last anybody heard of him. Do you think he got out of the community because he wanted some peace because everybody was bombarding him? Because I haven't seen no obituary. So, they're
I
saying he's
think
dead.
that
Sounds
I think
good.
I think he was an honest guy. I can read people real well, and I believe that he told us the truth. Do I think he's dead? I don't know. I could see it both ways.
Yeah.
I could see them wanting to get rid of this motherfucker because he's just got too much knowledge. And then I could see him going, I don't want to be around this shit because I got too much knowledge. So I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
He's got
I was just
he's got the
wondering.
means. He's got the means to disappear, but not disappear, but at least go into, out of the public view.
Yeah, because, he probably got bombarded from targets all day long.
Yep. Yeah, I think he was a good guy, bro. I think it's just like everybody that works at NASA. They're all given like one component that they work on, and nobody knows how all the components go together. So they just assume that everybody else is doing their job, and it's going to be a good thing. And I think that's when he was making these weapons. I think he just assumed that other people were going to be doing their part so that we can use this for the better of mankind.
Right.
And when he found out that they're actually torturing people with it, I think that's when he came out and said, I can't live with myself if I don't tell you guys what's really going on. He was
Right.
the one that told us that you can't run from this. It'll go through anything,
Yep.
anything. It don't matter where you go. If they want you, they're going to get you.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, he didn't sugarcoat that. Well,
Nope.
I'm fixing.
And so, and he's right, bro. I'm telling you, I fucking went from state to state to state. I thought I was gonna get away from this shit. Nope. They were right there when I fucking
Yep.
landed where it don't matter. They were right the motherfucker there. So I said, I'm not running no more. I'm not going fucking nowhere.
Yeah, they
You
got
guys
some
want to
good
play?
logistics, that's for sure.
Huh?
And I said they got some good logistics personnel, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, that was another thing. The second honey trap used to tell me, she goes, you know how they write the information down? I go, no. She'll go, she says, okay, the target just opened his eyes. Okay, the target just took a pee. Okay, the target just drank a glass of water. Literally, this is how they catalog what we do. And
Right.
so when they do analytics on that, they can see where our energy is going and they can make predictions. They can manipulate all kinds of shit just off the way we behave of doing normal shit.
Right.
Sending an email, you know, it's crazy what they can do with these analytics and AI. So that's another thing, David. There's good AI out there too. There's bad AI and there's good AI. So I believe that there's Q, let's call it Q, okay, for lack of a better term. Let's say Q is real. You got a bunch of good people that know what's going on, and they're making moves. They're doing things that we don't get to see. Okay, so I think for targets, we just need to hold the line. We need to hold these people responsible. Um, don't hurt yourself and try not to hurt anybody else. But at the same time, if I see you with a laser shooting at me, I'm gonna knock your teeth out and take that laser. I don't care. Yeah,
Right.
that's my next mission in life is to get one of those fucking hands. The first guy I got into a fight with, he actually had lasers in his hands, but I didn't realize what I was really into at the time. And I went and bought some lasers like that and started shooting at him with it. And I was just like, this is stupid. There's a million of them and one of me. And I look crazy doing it. I mean, they're doing it all incognito with their cars, fucking strollers. I had one guy, he had like a blender and he took a sip and the bottom of the blender was shooting this light at while I was
Wow.
driving, he was just going like this. I was just like, and then, I've had little grandmas with the stroller. They're hitting me with, the end of the stroller. They hide it in everywhere. The back of the car, the little fucking antenna thing.
Yeah.
Right out of the tip of that was another fucking one shooting me while I was behind the guy. And
Right.
I'm just like, this is crazy what these people are doing. But when you have that much money, that much time, and
Yeah. They can bounce it off anything in your house too.
bro, it's
Light
in your house.
switches. Yeah. Huh?
It's in your house. They go
Yeah.
in your house and change your outlets, your fans, dude, they swap that shit out for an alike product, and that whatever they put in there will attack you remotely.
Yeah.
So when I was living in Westchester, I had this big 10-foot A-frame ladder in the backyard, and it was pitch dark out at night. And I had seen through the gate that my neighbor went to his desk. He had a little desk by my backyard. And so it was pitch dark. And I saw he had turned on his computer. So I'm like, what's this motherfucker looking at? Right. So I went up there and I looked over there and I couldn't see the computer screen, but I had a flashlight with me. And so I shined it at the ground and his computer lit up. And I turned it off and his computer went dark. And I did it 3 times, bro. And it kept lighting up his screen. I said, this motherfucker's watching me.
Right.
It's him, the dude right next door. And so when I had that knowledge of, wow, these people are literally right next to me all the time. It don't matter where I go, they stick somebody in there that's willing to do this shit for them. And so, I hear about satellites and no, it's not. It's fucking grandma and grandpa right fucking next door. Okay, I'm sure there's satellites. I got drones that have hit me with energy. I've got planes that have hit me with energy. I got video of this shit. I got them. I know they do it, but the bulk of our attacks are coming from within our own home and from the neighbors. And when you
Right.
go out in the street, they're, the fucking NPCs that are walking around.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
man,
I
I
think
thank you for coming out for this interview, man. I'm fixing to stop the recording right now. Is there anything else you want to say before I stop it?
I just want to tell the targets, you guys, this is probably the shittiest thing that any human being could ever experience, ever. but there's a reason why it's you. Okay. And so for whatever reason that reason is, it's us, and nobody's coming to fucking save us. So let's stop with the, like, David, your account's private. Stop. All the bad people got your information and none of the good people do.
Right.
So we have to just sort of turn everything around and start being more open. Quit paying attention to what the fuck these guys are doing. Just give them nothing. It's hard, man. I got to tell you, it's hard to not do that, but it's possible. And so I think if we, as a collective, targets, can just support each other, whether it's a phone call, a fucking pat on the back, you go help them at their house, you send them $20, whatever. We just help each other.
Right.
And there's so many perps in the community, it's hard to fucking know who's real and who's not. I get it. It took me a whole year to find a real TI.
Yeah.
A year. And they tried so many different people on me. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I don't know how that goes. I went through that in 2018.
Yeah.
I was going house to house, and every time they would do some psyops, let me stay one day, and then put all over Facebook. Well, he did this when he was at my house. I had to kick him out. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I went to this one woman's house, and she let me stay. And then the next day, she's like, I woke up in the morning. She's like, "You were morphing up and down in my house. You got to get out." And then she put all over Facebook. Well, he was coming upstairs and all this, and just disappearing and appearing. And I'm like, what in the world? So now I'm in Philadelphia with nobody, don't know nobody. I done went out on a limb to go meet this person in Philadelphia, thinking I'm gonna have a place to stay and a chance. The next day I'm kicked out in the street in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
I know what you're going
all
through
set up.
there.
All set up to be that way, to get you so discouraged and so sad and oh, because you fucking lost everything again. I'm hip to their game now. And
No.
so I just try, dude. I went to Seattle. Before I went to Virginia, I flew to Seattle to meet a lady. Dude, she called the cops and told them that I was a freaking Russian mob spy who was trying to human traffic her.
Wow.
I said, bitch, you picked me up from the airport.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to haul this body around? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about, lady? And I even took a video when the cops came. I took a video and I was like, guys, this is for my safety and yours. This is so crazy. I have to film this. And I put it up on TikTok, and people were laughing because we took shrooms. Okay. So I smoked pot. And when I first got there, I said, hey, can we stop at a head shop? I want to get me some stuff. Well, when they didn't have zigzags in that part, he said you had to go to the next part to get the zigzags. So when we went to the next part, the guy says, hey, you guys want to take some microdoses? And she immediately goes, yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of weird, but all right. I've done it before. I ain't tripping. Then we ate the whole bar, both of us. Not a half an hour later, she starts looking at me going, I think you're trying to human traffic me. I said, what? So I walked her down to her car. I called my son on FaceTime. I said, look, I want to show you that I put this woman in her car and I'm out here and everything's cool. I need a witness to this because I can already see what's going on. They're trying to set me up.
Right.
Yeah. And so when the cops came, I had already called my son. I opened the door. Dude, the cop's face was melting. I'm telling you, that's how dosed I was. And the cop's like, so are you tripping at all? I was like, yeah, I'm seeing colors. His fucking face was melting off, dude. I'd never do that fucking again. But yeah, she tried to set me up, bro. She
Yeah.
tried to set me up. And then I had another lady out in Riverside try to set me up.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you coming out, man, taking time to give your testimony and stuff. I'll send you the link to the YouTube video, and if you want me to upload it to the drive, hold on, I'm gonna stop the recording right now.